Welcome to the Switchblade Sisters Social Club, a true crime podcast where two sisters exploit their worst fears for your entertainment. You're welcome. I'm Dee.
And I'm Rhonda, and together we are the Tuskegee Sisters. For more information, check out our website at www.switchbladesistersocialclub.com or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Switchblade Sisters Social Club.
Thanks for listening. Hi, this is Switchblade Sisters Social Club, the true crime podcast where two sisters exploit their worst fears for your entertainment. You're welcome. I'm Dee.
And I'm Rhonda.
And this is the last recorded episode in the season, because we've got two more episodes after this, which are episodes from a previous podcast that we did together called We Knew the Moon, which is, we've got one episode on psychics and one episode on psychic detectives.
We do like a bit of psychic stuff, huh?
I know. Yeah.
It's been a while, actually. I need a check-in.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we did something kind of spooky.
Yeah.
And but today's episode is a little bit different also.
Oh.
Not good different,
Oh.
just different.
Okay.
In that it's a horrendous story.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know.
I'm still surprised.
And this one is going to make you so fucking angry.
Oh,
because it is already. So angry. And the reason why I wanted to do this one now, a little bit political, again, can't escape the fact that we are Palestinian and we are suffering. It's nothing to do with Palestine, but it puts me in mind of what we're going through at the moment, because, you know, as Palestinians watching what's going on in the moment, watching the rest of the world's reaction to what happens when there are slayings and massacres of Palestinians. Lack of reaction. I mean, do you remember in the beginning of the crisis on the 7th of October, 8th of October, when there was this now proven fake news of 40 beheaded babies that Hamas had beheaded 40 babies?
Not true.
Not true. The journalist who first reported it even said, sorry, someone told me it and I just printed it without fact checking. And we've just had another fucking attack on Rafah where there are literal babies being beheaded and dying and so forth. And are we having the same outcry? No, of course not. And so it harks back to that feeling that there are some people that are seen as less worthy. Right? And we feel it at the moment, and it's definitely what's going on with this case, because it is set in the States and it involves a medical experiment conducted on Black men.
Oh.
So you know this is going to be fucking bad, right? It's going to make you mad, okay? I'm going to list my sources. There's quite a few in the show notes, but one of the best ones that I used was called Don't Shush Me, Bedtime Stories for Adults. Okay, I've been practicing all day this word, right? I'm just gonna play it because I've literally Googled how to say this word.
Okay.
So I just need to play it to remind myself, okay?
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee.
Tuskegee?
Tuskegee. I'm gonna leave it open so that I might need to remind myself. Tuskegee. Apologies if I say it in different ways, because I've been saying Tuskegee, Tuskegee Experiments, okay?
Okay.
Don't Shush Me, Bedtime Stories for Adults. It reminds me of Che. Remember the other day when he said he doesn't like to be shut up?
Yeah.
No one does, Che. So also went on. So basically it's the Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. So I was also on the NHS website on reading all about syphilis, as well as the Health Direct and Helio website. Untreated syphilis study of the Tuskegee timeline, Black men in the Tuskegee Syphilis study. All of these I'll put in the show notes. Some other syphilis studies. I went in. I felt like I was at uni again because I was reading fucking journal articles, you know? There's a Tuskegee University Legacy Museum. Their legacy is not good, but at least they're owning what they were
What is
involved
this
in.
name, Tuskegee?
Tuskegee is an area in Alabama. where the
Okay, okay,
study
okay.
took place linked to the Tuskegee University.
Okay.
So in summary, the Tuskegee experiments launched in 1932 by the U.S. Public Health Service, so by the government, at the Tuskegee University of Alabama. The full name of the experiment is the Tuskegee Study of Untreated Syphilis in the Negro Male. This experiment was due to last 6 months, but instead lasted 40 years until each of the participants passed away.
Oh gosh.
So, what was the experiment?
Wait,
600.
was it out of choice that they were participants? Oh, fuck. Okay.
You could very strongly argue that it was not consensual participation. A consensual consent, informed consent was not given. Okay. 600 poor and undereducated African American males, remember this is during the time of segregation, they were being treated for bad blood. They were never told they had syphilis. They were given medicines, but quite often these were placebos, aspirins or supplements. And they were obviously not told that these were placebos they were being given. And in fact, they weren't even told they were part of a study. So let's go back a bit. Let's learn a little bit about syphilis. Yay. So from the NHS website, the most common way to get syphilis is through unprotected sex, although it can also be through childbirth and any kind of exchange of blood. So like sharing needles with an infected person, for example. Symptoms of syphilis include small sores on your genitals and or ass. The word ass was not on the NHS website. That was my own paraphrasing. These can be painless and can also be on the mouth or lips or hands. You can get warty growths around the genitalia or the ass, rash on your palms of your hands or the soles of your feet, which can spread. It's not itchy, but it spreads throughout the body. You can get white patches in the mouth. You can have flu-like symptoms. You can have hair loss. So there's loads of symptoms, right? By the way, I just want to do a little public service announcement. In the UK, you can obviously get free testing for any of these STDs, and you can even have them sent to your house. So I'm going to include in the sources in the London area, it's shl.uk, which is short for Sexual Health London, or you can go on the NHS website if you're outside of London. So you don't even have to have the embarrassment of going to a sexual health clinic. You can order the test to your house, do the test yourself. It's a bit of a fast, but if you really don't want to, for me, it was less of the embarrassment thing the last time I did the test. It was more just laziness. I'd much rather do anything at home than go and do it somewhere else. But then you just post it and you get the results to your phone. It's so fucking easy. So I always think it's worth doing a test, especially after a breakup or just regularly if you're single. Anyways, that's my little public service announcement. So you can get checked for syphilis. If you're like me and you hear symptoms of any disease, you're like, fuck, I have all of this. I must have it. So I don't have syphilis.
Good to know that there's services that you can access like that.
To your house. Easy and free. Come on. Symptoms can take 3 weeks to start displaying after infection. The symptoms can clear up completely. So you can still have syphilis and not even be displaying anything after a while. So you might just have, for example, flu-like symptoms, think you have a cold, and then it goes away and you think you're fine, but you actually still have syphilis. Which also means that you can pass it on to sexual partners, but also unborn babies, if you're a drug user, if you're sharing needles, et cetera, et cetera. If left untreated, syphilis can cause far more serious things, such as heart problems like angina, aneurysms, heart failure, brain problems like seizures, memory problems, personality changes, dementia, nerve problems, joint pains, problems with your skin, your bones, your organs, your eyes, etc. And some of these might only start showing years after infection. It can affect your fertility. It can increase your chances of miscarriage, premature birth. I mean, there's nothing it can't affect, you know? And the crazy thing is, the cure is a simple course of penicillin. So then I went down a penicillin rabbit hole. Penicillin, because I was like, what actually is it? We hear it. We don't know what it is.
Isn't it mold?
basically. It's a group of different types of antibiotics which can treat a whole bunch of infections. Penicillin fights bacterial infections by destroying the bacteria's cell walls. Your doctor might prescribe you a type of penicillin if you have any kind of skin infection, dental infection, ear infection, infection of the nose, throats, or lungs, urinary tract infection, or syphilis. It can treat formerly severe and life-threatening illnesses such as bacterial endocarditis, meningitis, pneumococcal pneumonia, gonorrhea, and like I said, syphilis. So penicillin, lifesaver. And I didn't want to glamorize syphilis, but do you want a list of famous people who are suspected of having syphilis?
Yes.
Right. Obviously, this is just like suspected list from what we can tell of how their behaviors changed or what ailments they had at the time, right? Blackbeard, the pirate, Leo Tolstoy, Nietzsche, Hitler, Al Capone, Idi Amin, Baudelaire, Toulouse-Lautrec, Christopher Columbus, Mussolini, Ivan the Terrible. So it does make you wonder, because obviously some of those names on that list are fucking awful, right? And syphilis is something that can affect your personality. You know, also like there's the madness of King George. I don't remember which King George that was, but he had syphilis. Was syphilis something to do with the horrendous acts they committed? You know?
Oh, that's letting them off easily.
That is. So back to this horrendous experiment. And I think you'll see why I feel justified covering it in a true crime podcast, because it is literally a fucking awful crime. Of the 600 participants, 399 of them had early syphilis. 201 of them were syphilis-free, and they were the control group. I tried to find out how the participants were selected, and I finally found in the McGill article that says the men were suspicious before the experiment even started because they thought they were basically being offered free physicals, and they thought that this was in order to assess their eligibility for the army. So the researchers started examining women and children as well, but just as a ruse, because now they're offering, you know, these free physicals to anyone so that it would look less suspicious.
So why
and the
did
men
they
would
want
be
men?
full.
Why did they want men specifically?
Because the study was to study the untreated syphilis in Negro men. Specifically, you know, you try to reduce the variables as much as possible in a study. So they clearly were like, we're only going to test adult males of African American background. The level of deception is insane because, like I said, they literally just did free physicals to women and children to trick the men into doing it as well. I mean, you know, this is outright deceit, isn't it? The participants were lured in as well by giving free rides to their appointments, hot meals, free medical treatment for other issues, and also burial insurance. This one I found really, really tough. So like, again, these are poor people. And so that would be a huge consideration, wouldn't it? Like
their families don't have to pay for their funeral.
If and when I pass, I don't want to be a burden on my family. This was actually to guarantee access to the deceased for autopsies. So, look how nice we are covering a fucking burial. Oh, but we're also going to do an autopsy, whether you like it or not.
What year was this?
The experiment lasted for 40 years, but started in 1932.
Okay.
250 were drafted during World War II, but they were excused from the army as they were part of this study, even though they didn't know they were part of the study. And it was actually because their syphilis was detected in their entrance exam. So if they were removed from the study to go into the army, well, to do the tests to enter the army, their syphilis would be discovered and their illness would be treated. And that would be a waste of participants, in quotation marks. So these are doctors, by the way, making all these decisions, you know, doctors that signed up to the Hippocratic Oath, right? So I then went down a Hippocratic Oath rabbit hole. And it is the oath that the doctors swear by, still to this day, as far as I know, to help their patients and do no harm. So basically, literally a quote from it, I will abstain from all intentional wrongdoing and harm. You could argue that not treating someone's illness when there's an easy treatment is definitely fucking doing harm.
Yeah.
So I especially read through the oath at the time of these experiments. Well, it was rewritten in 1967, right? So this is while this experiment's still going on. And with regards to matters of life and death, here's one of the quotes. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. This is it, because syphilis can literally kill people. If it is given to me to save a life, all thanks. But it may also be within my power to take a life. This awesome responsibility must be faced with great humbleness and awareness of my own frailty. Above all, I must not play at God. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart, a cancerous growth, but a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibilities include these related problems if I am to care adequately for the sick. A lovely sentiment. I will prevent disease whenever I can, for prevention is preferable to cure. So when the experiment started in 1932, there actually was no cure for syphilis. This came out in 1947, but remember, the experiment is still ongoing at this point. So in 1947, you had the discovery of penicillin, and it became publicly funded treatment for syphilis very soon after. So within years, it was the publicly funded, meaning free, which isn't always the case in the States, free treatment that you would get for syphilis, because they obviously saw it as like a public concern, you know? The participants in this study were not told of this discovery of penicillin and the cure. Neither were they offered it. The experimenters even convinced local doctors not to treat the participants either. They convinced the other doctors that they would be receiving all of their treatment through the university. So, you know, you can't blame the other doctors for not treating them, because they assumed that their patients, you know, or if any of these men became their patients, that they were being treated at the university, right? But you do think at some point, wouldn't you get a bit suspicious? By 1952, so what, 13 years after this experiment has started, about 30% of the participants had received penicillin anyway, despite the researchers' best efforts. So whether that was because other doctors were suspicious, or, you know, these participants themselves didn't even know they were in a study, let alone to tell another doctor, you know? So maybe they got treatment somewhere else. They might have got penicillin for another infection that just, you know, by chance was also, as a side effect, treating their syphilis. By 1965, they argued, the researchers, that it was too late to give the suspects penicillin as their syphilis was too advanced, despite the fact that penicillin was even then recommended at any stage of syphilis to stop the symptoms worsening.
So what was the goal of this study? What was the actual goal, if not to treat them or, you know?
Well, when this study started, the idea was to study untreated syphilis. They studied it on Black males because they thought Black males were literally worth less, you know, at the time of segregation. So it wasn't an experiment they were ever going to do on white males. But then, I mean, that's wrong anyways. That is horrible. But once you get a cure for it, why do you need to study the untreated effects? Just treat the fucking people.
Yeah. So where did it all go wrong if the intention was good at the start?
I mean, it wasn't good at the start.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's not good at the start, but I mean, you can't understand it, but like, it was an illness where they didn't have a full cure. They had treatments for it, but it wasn't a full cure. So in 1947, the Nuremberg Code was written. And in 1964, the World Health Organization published their Declaration of Helsinki. These were codes to protect humans from exactly such experimentations. And yet, the experiment still continued. Some of the syphilis-affected participants went blind. went insane, became infertile, and died. Now we're gonna, in 1960, I want to enter into the story my case crush for the day. Public Health Service employee. He was venereal disease investigator in San Francisco, Peter Buxton. He finds out about this study and opposes it with his bosses. A committee was formed, they reviewed it, but Peter is then told they would continue the experiment until the end, meaning until every participant is dead. Still not treating the ones that have syphilis. So you know what he does? He leaks the story to a journalist called Jean Heller, and she publishes it. Now, she only publishes the story in 1972, so this is in theory 12 years after Peter Buxton first becomes aware of this experiment or first becomes suspicious of it or questions the ethics of it. So I don't know what the delay was, whether it took that long for this committee to be formed and review it. Who knows? Or whether it took him a while to gather enough evidence to leak the story. But eventually it is published in Associated Press, and there's a link in the show notes. Remember, by this point, the experiment has been going on, so 1972. It's been going on for 33 years. 33 years that there has been X amount of participants who have been living with syphilis, sometimes not told they have syphilis, and not treated for syphilis. The idea from the start was that the study would look at the autopsies to see the damage of untreated syphilis on the body. So from the start, they wanted participants to die without having had this illness treated. Apparently, at the time, the then Assistant Secretary of Health, Education and Welfare, Dr. Merlin K. Duval, was unaware of the experiment's existence and was shocked when he found out about it, when the article came out, and launched an investigation. The doctors that were researching that were conducting this experiment, their justification was that they were treating the participants' other illnesses, because they were doing health checks on them and so forth. That doesn't justify it to me. Does it justify it to you?
But the whole thing is wrong.
It's evil. It's literally evil. The Congress passed the National Research Act in 1974, and the Office of Human Research Protections was established within the U.S. Public Health Service. Obtaining informed consent from all study participants became required for all research on humans. 1974. Feels quite late. At the time of the start of the experiment in 1932, Alabama had a really high rate of syphilis. This is possibly why they decided to do this study in this area. Apparently in, this is a word I'm saying wrong, Macon County, where the experiment took place, the syphilis rate was 35%.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time, pre-penicillin treatment included arsenic and mercury. I don't know how effective that was.
I thought we knew for a long time that mercury was fucking bad for you.
Apparently in 1932, we were still using it to kind of treat syphilis. The study claims that half of the participants, around 200 men, well, that's about a third of the participants, who had syphilis were given the mercury and arsenic treatments. Right, so half of the participants with syphilis, let me say that sentence again. The study claims that half of the syphilis-infected participants, around 200 men, who were given mercury and arsenic treatment. The other half of the syphilis-affected treatment were given no treatment whatsoever. The other half of the people with syphilis were given no treatment at all. I have read conflicting reports on this, with most reports stating that they weren't even given these treatments, that no one was treated in any kind of way. In 1969, the Public Health Service's Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, which had been in charge of the Tuskegee Study, reviewed records of 276 syphilitics, people with syphilis, both treated and untreated, who participated in the study. It found that 7 men had died as a direct result of syphilis. Another 154 died of heart failure. But the officials can't say whether how many of those deaths were caused by syphilis or how many additional deaths may have been linked to the disease. The Public Health Service says that people the people that conducted the study are now either dead or retired, and actually they don't even know who was responsible for this study, which seems unlikely for such a large study. So they don't even know who to bring to task for it. And anyways, did they even break any of the laws? Because the laws were so awful at the time, right? Anyways, it was discovered that the study was initiated by a Dr. J.R. Heller, Assistant Surgeon General in the Public Health Service Venereal Disease Section. He eventually became the division chief. So he's got promotions after starting this study. When penicillin was discovered and then became available to the people to be used as a treatment for syphilis, the decision was taken within the study not to give the men the treatment. This to me is when the experiment took a next level evil twist, right? So there's a proven full treatment for this disease that so many men had, and they had a conversation and decided not to give it to these people. Expert believes at this point that there would have been a high success rate in treating the syphilis-infected participants. When the article comes out in 1972, only 74 participants are still alive. Now, again, there's some deaths that they link directly to syphilis. There's some that we can safely assume were directly impacted by the fact that they had untreated syphilis. They were also poor and living in very difficult conditions. So I can't imagine that their life expectancy was, you know, as high as the national average, for example, or their white peers in the area. And it was still being claimed that those with syphilis were now too old to be treated. Jean Heller's piece in Associated Press did result in the study being stopped. So what a legend. But by this time, 29 people had died from syphilis, over 100 from related complications. Listen how awful this is. 40 wives were infected with syphilis as their husbands were not told they were infected. And listen to this.
Oh, it's sad.
19 children were born with congenital syphilis, meaning they contracted it during childbirth. Because remember, I told you.
I was just gonna say it's kids too.
Yep. A class action lawsuit was filed in 1978, and the government had to pay $10 million out of court settlements to the survivors and heirs. And new guidelines have been set out for government-funded studies. It was found that just finding out about this experiment, so just people learning about this experiment, reduced the life expectancy of Black men over 45 years old by at least a year. Because as soon as they learned about this study, they instantly got a distrust for officials and healthcare professionals.
Oh, shit.
So, you know, that's going to reduce the chances of them going to a doctor for anything and so forth. So can you imagine just learning about this experiment, reading about it in the paper, reduced your life expectancy by a year?
You know, it's so sad because in recent years, there's been a lot published about how so many more Black women die during childbirth than white women.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a long time since this study.
Yeah, since the study, exactly. And that is due to a lack of access to information and healthcare, a distrust of professionals because of things like this. So in 1997, Bill Clinton apologized for this study and called it shameful. Here's a quote from the apology. The United States government did something that was wrong, deeply, profoundly, morally wrong. It is not only in remembering that shameful past that we make amends and repair our nation, but it is in remembering that past that we can build a better present and a better future. I mean, it is far beyond shameful. He also announced plans to establish the Tuskegee University's National Center for Bioethics in Research and Healthcare. They fucking need it. The final participant died in 2004, and to this day, no one has been prosecuted for their role in dooming 399 men to a life of syphilis, a life and death of syphilis. Tuskegee is simultaneously trying to own their history while also focusing on their positive contributions, for example, their nurse and medical training, etc. So they even, as I've said, they have a legacy museum, which seems to be solely about this study. I'm sure there's other things going on at this museum, but they do have a large exhibit about this study. So at least they're not like trying to sweep it under the carpet.
Mm.
I mean, would this
But
have
you know,
ever happened?
the lasting impact of like the descendants still having, you know, distrust, it has a lasting impact, you know, and that's going
Yeah.
to affect their health and their life expectancy, you know, for several generations.
Yeah. I mean, those kids that were born with syphilis could be our age, maybe a little bit older, you know? This feels like a long time ago, but it's very
Mm.
recent history.
Hmm.
Would this have happened with white participants? I'm going to say no. As with most things, we need to understand the context. So there was a trend toward social Darwinism. I fucking hate this.
Hmm.
Survival of the fittest, which manifested itself in white people thinking they were biologically and mentally superior to Black people. Slavery had only formally ended in 1865, so that's less than 100 years before this experiment. And we all know that it takes a long time to change public opinion on
Hmm.
things. Segregation was well established, and scientists were arguing that African men were uniquely fit for enslavement due to their physical strength and simple minds. So, a quote from the McGill article, it was widely believed that while the brains of African Americans were underevolved, their genitals were overdeveloped. Black men were seen to have an intrinsic perversion for white women, and all African Americans were seen as inherently immoral with insatiable sexual appetites.
Who said this?
This was a quote from the article. I'm not saying the author McGill
Hmm.
believed
Hmm.
that. That McGill was saying this was the attitude at the time. It's believed at the time that Black people were more susceptible as well to sexual health illnesses because of all this. So what did they learn from the study? I tried to Google this. Did they actually publish any results from the study? And it seems the findings were irrelevant because as soon as penicillin was found, it was unnecessary to learn the effects of untreated illnesses when we have a fucking treatment, especially when the treatment is being withheld. It just literally makes the whole experiment like null and void.
Hmm.
And the scary thing is that this wasn't the only unethical study. It wasn't even the only unethical syphilis study. So I did psychology at school, and I always was fascinated by these unethical studies. And the one that I remember is the Zimbardo experiment from psychology class. And again, maybe because of the Israel-Palestine link, but you might know it as the Stanford prison experiment. There was a Netflix
Yes.
show on it.
Yes.
Half the participants were made into prisoners and the other half were made into jailers. The prison guards became incredibly cruel really fucking quickly as they displayed demand characteristics. So traits they thought the researchers wanted from them and traits they admitted later went well above and beyond what they ever thought they would do in terms of cruelty. So they were acting out of character, far out of character. This was in 1971 before there were ethical guidelines for psychology experiments. Obviously, things are different now. But the prison guards were so brutal that the experiment had to be stopped at day 6 instead of 2 weeks further down the line. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't watch a documentary on it, but I watched the film that they made with Forrest Whitaker is in it.
yes, I remember. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
think I saw the film. I saw the
Oh,
documentary, but I really recommended the
yeah,
Netflix.
it's shocking.
It was shocking because the level of abuse that these people did, and they were just everyday regular people, you know,
Hmm.
that would never, ever believe that they would ever act in the way that they did. But also there was the Milgram experiment, which I remember from from psychology lessons. It was an electric shock experiment. Participants were told that they could shock the learner however high they wanted when the learner gave incorrect answers. There was no shock actually given. It was faked. The learners were actors. But 2/3 of the participants gave the highest voltage of shocks. And these were like really, really high levels of shocks. So again, something that these participants probably never thought that they would
It
ever
shows you
do.
what people are capable of with permission, if allowed, with no
Yeah.
consequences, you know?
And in the right context. But then also think of these people once they leave the experiment, like knowing that you've done these horrendous things, how could you like cope with that? And then the people that received the abuse in the Zimbardo prison experiment, you know?
Do you know there's this famous Russian artist, you'll know her name. She has long dark hair. Do you know who I'm talking about? She's a bit like Tracy Emin. I
No.
can't remember her name, but anyway, she did some sort of, oh, I don't know if it's performative art or installation art. No, not installation. But anyway, she had this I guess performance, but it wasn't really, where she was a statue, but the audience were allowed to come up and do whatever they wanted to her, literally had permission to do. I think her name was Maria something, but I can't remember her full name. And I remember reading about it, and it was a Guardian article, and people were literally coming up and abusing her, like physically, sexually. And I guess the experiment was, I guess, it wasn't so much art, but more an experiment of what are people capable of doing with permission, you know? They had permission. What are they going to do? And it was fucking sick.
It's disgusting, isn't it? So, more unethical experiments. In
Oh,
World War II,
oh,
malaria
this
was
is
a
this one I hate. This is what I've been thinking about the whole time. It's probably not the only example, but I just keep
malaria?
no, not malaria. I keep thinking about Hans Asperger.
Oh, yeah.
And
I didn't even go there. I
oh
couldn't.
God, that it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. It's part of the reason why the term isn't used, has been disused medically, to discuss
Yeah.
autism. That was one of the reasons. But yeah, it makes me so sad.
So in World War II, malaria was a huge problem for soldiers in Asia. So the US infected many prisoners in the US in order to find a cure. So they were actually at this point infecting people. People didn't seem to mind as they saw it as part of their war effort, apparently. I don't know about that. Now, as far as other syphilis experiments, this one is even worse, if that's possible, because in a US sponsored experiment from 1946 to 48 in Guatemala, 700 men and women who were prisoners, soldiers, and mental patients were intentionally infected with syphilis. Hundreds more people were exposed to other sexually transmitted diseases as part of the study without their knowledge or consent. So that's 700 people who are infected, who then also potentially can infect other people because they don't even know that they
Mhm.
have this transmittable disease. This was supposedly to test if penicillin could prevent and not just cure infections like syphilis. But many of those who took part were not even treated after they were infected. So they're infected and not even treated afterwards. Bear in mind that there's a treatment and it's just
Mhm.
taking a few pills, you know? The American public health researcher in charge of the project, Dr. John Cutler, went on to become the lead researcher in the Tuskegee experiment. So again, another person who got promoted. But yeah,
Do you know
no, it's just,
what?
it's
The
horrible.
whole seasons, the whole 3 seasons, we've been talking about serial killers, bad people doing bad shit. This one is so fucking tragic, sad, heinous, all those things because these are supposed to be medical professionals.
Medical professionals, people in positions of trust, that one always fucks you up more, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Mm-hmm.
And just the scale of it. It was
Mm-hmm.
a large
And
study.
the
The amount of
lasting
people that,
impact, the
the
lasting
lasting
impact.
impact, for me, I can't get over the amount of people that must have been involved who just went along with it. I get that it's a
The
different time and
generational impact.
the context, I get that it was in a time where it was just socially, culturally accepted that these people were worth less as humans, which is awful. it's just so sad to think about. And like you said, I mean, there must be people still feeling this ramifications, you know, and
Because
knowing that they've lost.
generational trauma, that's not not over quick, you know.
No, and there'll
I
be
mean,
people like our age, our parents' age, who lost their parents far too soon as a result of having this
mhm,
illness that was
mhm.
not treated. It's just horrendous. So we're actually recording People's Pulse, which we fucking need, tomorrow night because there's a surprise that my sister has planned for me.
Yep, first
So
surprise in 3 seasons.
I know. So we'll come back for that in a bit, which will be absolutely no time for you guys because I'll edit these two bits together. So People's Pulse.
Yep, we got the People's Pulse, and for the first time ever in 3 seasons, I'm surprising you with a surprise guest. And
I know.
you have absolutely no idea who it is, or maybe you've got thoughts about who it is. And I'm surprised
No,
that
you told me don't even try to guess, and
uh-huh.
so I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't even try to guess.
Okay. Good.
So
So, oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait. I've been struggling, especially since I saw you today. I've been struggling
I know because
to
you are so bad.
yeah. But you know what? While we're waiting for them, I've just sent them the link. They haven't seen it yet. While we're waiting for them, let's talk about what we did today.
We saw our one true love,
Colin
Colin
Sutton.
Sutton.
Oh,
Oh, do
and
you know
he
what?
was so funny. He was so, I feel like he was even funnier in a small venue, huh?
Yeah, because he's so endearing,
Yeah.
isn't he? He's so endearing.
And you know
And
what? He smelled so nice. We were
I
in
know
the
we were in the
front
front row,
row.
we could smell him.
So
That's
we
how
were at,
close we were.
yeah, it was at the Tabard in Chiswick, which is a tiny theater above the Tabard pub. And I mean, it's the size of a living room, right?
I would estimate 50 people max.
Yeah, maximum. Yeah. And there's no actual like stage. And we were in, I got us front row tickets, literally front row, like less
I
than
mean,
two
we
meters
could
away.
probably,
Yeah, yeah, we could have touched him. Yeah, like less than 2 meters away. And I just kept getting whiffs of his amazing aftershave. He smelled amazing.
oh, he really did. So he talks about his career in the police force.
And we saw some hunky pictures of him when he was younger, huh?
Oh, I mean, one
Yeah.
of them
My favorite.
goes
Which one? Which
you
one?
and me
Which was your
outside
favorite?
of the hotel when he
Yeah.
did this raid on
Oh,
a hotel
yes.
where he looked a bit like the milk tray man.
Yes.
We were both a bit like,
Yeah.
oh, Colin.
Oh.
And this is the second time in a week I've seen him, and the novelty does not wear off. I'll just say that.
We've got fucking horrendous pictures because I'm every time me and you are together and I'm wearing makeup and don't look too shit, I'm like, yay, let's get some content. And then you know how like when you're taking selfies and then someone is like, they think they're doing you a favor is by saying, let me take it for you, and you just know it's gonna be shit.
You know it's going to be shit. You can't ask them to retake it 800 times like you can a selfie. You
And
know that
you don't want to offend them and say no, but really you just want to take your fucking selfie and take it well.
you just want to have the control of a selfie. Yeah. I see who wants to come into the room.
Admit them. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Oh my God, you have
Oh my
your pajamas. Wait. Is that Santa riding the Loch Ness Monster?
God. A unicorn.
It's Santa on an inflatable unicorn whilst wearing sunglasses and drinking out of a coconut.
Oh, that reminds me of Dee's t-shirt of
The cat riding the unicorn with the pizza kite.
Yep. Oh my
Oh
God,
my God,
Susie.
Susie. I
You have
can't
no
believe you're
idea.
here.
You know, it's a
People's
surprise
Pulse.
for Dee. It's a surprise for Dee, and I don't know how I managed to keep it a secret, but I had to
You
put
shit
her
at
off the
secrets.
huh? Yeah, I'm shit at secrets because I got loose lips. And so I was like trying to put her off today, and I said to her, "It's not who you think," because I knew she was gonna know it was you. You know, I knew she was
I
going to
mean,
know.
to be fair, my first thought was Susie, because the People's Pulse section is basically the
Yeah,
Susie
Susie,
section.
Susie.
And we,
Yeah, your segment. And basically, so I had to pretend you were a guy. So I was like, oh yeah,
yes,
he's coming. Oh no, I dropped it. Oh no. Did I do good, T?
you
Pretending it
did
was a
so
guy.
well. Because I was like, what man listens to us?
Who do you think it was when I pretended it was a guy?
I don't know. It
Su-
just threw me, but I tried really hard not to think about it because you told
Yeah,
me
yeah.
don't try to guess. So I
Wow,
was like, I'm not
Susie.
gonna.
Susie's in control now because I've sent Susie the submissions. I haven't even read them. Anyway, Susie, let's give you the floor. We're just so fucking happy that you're here. How
I
was
love
your
this
day?
so much.
This, well, yeah, I mean, Randa and I have been planning this for what, probably about 2 months.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, when is the right time? And since we're heading towards the end of season 3, I thought let's save the good stuff.
You know, I feel like it's my fucking birthday. This is the best ever.
Oh, thank you.
Is this
I've
the
never
best
had
thing
that
that's ever happened to me?
before.
Do you
Oh,
know,
I'm just so happy. I'm
Susie,
so
do you know
happy you're
what?
here, Susie.
I feel like we're meeting a celebrity, you know, like when you go to a book signing or something like that and you
I'm a
finally
little
meet
bit
them.
fangirling.
Yeah. And you know what, Susie? I'm friends with your mom now too. Did she tell you?
No,
I slid into her DMs and she's fucking hilarious too.
I'm not
yeah.
surprised.
Oh, no, not my
No.
mom.
I told her you got some explaining to do.
So, see, my dad always said that I was quite possibly the most intelligent person in any room I walked into. But bloody hell, it was thick as pig shit. which is
Oh,
why I've got so many stories.
your dad sounded like he was an absolute fucking legend.
Oh, do you know
Oh,
what
he
we're
absolutely was.
and
He
we're
was a
still
legend.
living off of the story of you emailing everyone at work. I mean, fucking genius.
I can't believe I told you that.
Oh, you
We
know,
love it.
it
Every
was
Susie submission has been gold.
yeah, and I feel like we peaked with the People's Pulse that episode, huh? Because of your story. And then trying to live up to that and think of questions that could possibly be anywhere near as good. It's been
Okay,
hard.
so I've got one for you, and you have to ask my mum this question.
Oh.
What is the worst thing you did as a toddler?
Oh. Oh.
She
Oh,
will then tell you about one infamous weekend in about 1982.
Oh. Everything could happen in the 80s, huh?
So yeah, you have, but I can't tell the story anywhere near as good as my mum. You have
Oh
to ask
gosh,
my mum.
yeah. Well, that'll be
get
next
a
week.
voice note out of her mom. I want to hear it from her mouth.
Yeah, we'll do that. Play it live. Because we
Yes.
can't retell it. I always feel bad when we can't retell it as good as we know that person could have delivered it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Oh my
so
God.
yeah.
Susie, what was our
What is the
question today?
People's Pulse today? People's
Yeah.
Pulse. People's
People's
Pulse.
people's pulse.
I actually forgot what the question was because I screenshotted it and sent it to you and didn't look because I thought it's not my problem today. So I forgot what the question was.
So the question is, what phase that people say can get you absolutely, oh, that you can absolutely not stand?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Mine
I
was too
even
long.
sent my submission in because I didn't want to forget it. And it's because an ex that used to say it all the time. He would start almost every sentence with
Wait, who?
Paul, not being funny, but and
Oh,
then say something not funny at all. And I would always tell him,
Oh
yeah, you're right.
God.
You weren't being funny. And he'd be like,
Oh
what? And it's
God.
like, well, you said I'm not
or
being funny, but
if you, I'm not, see, the way that phrase is used up here is, it's really like a sarcastic thing. So I'm not being funny, but what it should actually say is, I'm going to be a complete and utter bitch with what I'm just about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Like, no offense, but I'm already
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
pissed off. I'm
No
already
offense,
pissed
but
off.
here's a really
Yeah.
offensive phrase.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd
yeah,
rather you
Yeah.
just delivered it offensively, you know,
Just
than
say, just call a
yeah,
spade a spade. Yeah.
yeah.
So I
yeah.
submitted mine because I didn't want to forget that that annoys the fucking shit out of me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Are you two going to give yours or are you going to wait till the end?
Do you know, I always wait to read the submissions because I just know that someone's going to already like say one of mine, so I don't want to steal it. But yeah, and it's going to remind me of a million things that annoy me that people say.
See, mine's on here as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Right,
All
Susie.
right, go, Susie. The floor is yours.
So, Lazy Mule Art, who's one of my friends on Instagram as well.
Yeah, our favorite Sam.
Yeah, incredible artist.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. I hate office jargon phrases that have filtered into everyday use, particularly to ping an email.
Oh.
Low-hanging fruit.
What does that mean? Because I heard it and I don't like it, but what does it mean?
So basically, what it means is, you know, when you're like picking apples off a tree.
Yeah.
The worst ones are the easiest ones to grab.
Okay.
The ones which are
so is it the weakest link? Is it like saying the weakest link?
It's like getting the easiest.
Yeah.
Grabbing the easiest fruit.
Use it in a sentence. Speak to me like I'm a child. How would you use this in a sentence?
Like these potential clients are the low-hanging fruits, so we should target them first.
Okay, so the easy ones to get.
Yeah, like quick kill type stuff.
Yeah,
okay,
easy pickings. Quick wins.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like the weakest link when I've heard that before. Okay, cool. Got it.
So yeah, to touch base.
Oh.
And having a game plan.
Okay. I have so much to say about these because touch base. I remember I had a line manager who used to say that, and it used to make me just feel nauseous and cringe. Like, just say, let's have a chat. I don't. It nauses me up, that one. And also, I tell you which one fucking pisses me off, and I hear it so much because I use Zoom a lot. Is when people say jump on a call.
Oh God, yeah.
Did anyone say that before Zoom became a thing in lockdown? Did anyone fucking say let's jump on a call?
No, it was.
I don't think so.
It was more ping me an email.
Yeah.
We pinged emails.
I only remember hearing let's jump on a call since Zoom became a bigger thing in lockdown. And first, it annoys me because it just fucking annoys me. It just annoys me, and I don't want to speak to them anymore. But also because I fucking hate it sounds terrible because I have to do it a lot, but I hate being on Zoom for work because I just think, let me just get on with the fucking work. It's not like
just send me an email. This could have been an email.
Exactly. But yeah, and then when they say that, I'm like, oh, I want to even less now, you know?
Speaking of the game plan one, I have a very specific context where something that someone says annoys me.
Yeah.
Because I watch a lot of trashy reality TV shows, and a lot of them are like competitive reality TV shows. And when people talk about, oh, they're playing the game, they've got a game plan. It's like, well, on the game show, they have a game plan on the game show. So what? Like, what did you expect? But that always annoys me.
Yeah, but yeah, ping me an email. Yeah, that one annoys me too. I don't know why people have to dress up like the most basic phrases. Do you know what I mean? Like jump on a call.
Diarize.
Yeah.
Let's diarize something. I fucking hate diarizing.
What does that mean? Like put it in the diary?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh.
This is why I don't work with people. I can't get down this shit. Diary?
Because they say words and they're annoying.
Oh God. Is there any other weird things that people say in the world of?
I'm sure we're going to hear some. People. What else have we got, Susie?
Well, Lazy Mule Art continues.
Oh, there's more. Oh, sorry, I interrupted.
I also don't like the overuse of the words literally for things that aren't true. I'm also guilty of the use of literally all the time.
Literally all the time.
Do you know what? I do say it, and it does annoy me when people say it, but I say it too. So I've got to try not to be hypocritical about that one. But I tell you what does annoy me, and then I feel bad about it. I feel bad about it because it's like mean. But when people get generally and genuinely mixed up, like they're two different words. They mean totally different things.
Do you know what gets me?
Yeah.
Instead of saying asked, saying axed.
Oh, I hear that all the time in London. That one I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time, especially when I was teaching. I used to hear that a lot.
Oh, from the kids.
Yeah, that one I gotta say didn't bother me, that one. But I also wonder why certain things bother us too. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's 100% our own issues, I'm
sure. Or is
it
because somebody that we couldn't fucking stand was saying it? as well.
Probably that too. And also because some phrases are just fucking annoying and stupid and pointless.
Yeah.
Well, that was amazing. Our favorite, Sam.
Yeah, it was a good start. Strong start.
Well done. Strong start. Yeah.
So the next one is some bird called D. I've not heard of it.
Well, yeah. Already said mine.
Yeah.
Not being funny, but
that one.
Not being, yeah.
And can we add no offense but to that one? Because already my back is up.
Well, that's the thing. If somebody says no offense, you just know whatever they're saying is highly offensive.
Yeah. Yeah. You're bracing yourself for a fight.
It's like when someone starts a sentence with "I'm not being racist, but," and then follows it with something incredibly racist. Yeah. It's like, no, you actually are being racist. If you have to start a sentence with "I'm not being racist," you're probably being racist.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. So, who do we think's next?
You.
No.
Coventry Karen?
Coventry Karen?
Is it Sky Blue?
Not yet.
Oh, who we got?
Another Karen?
Lucy B.
Lucy B.
Do you feel like you know like all the participants as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? Because like that's why we were saying we feel like we're recording, even when it's just me and Dee recording, we feel like we're just having a chat with friends, because even like the listeners we haven't met, you kind of feel like we know
all the important stuff about you.
Like what pissed them went off and whether they shot themselves or not.
We've had all the deep and meaningful conversations already.
Yeah, we absolutely have.
So what Lucy B say? Lucy B is someone like us who's fucking irritated by people breathing. So I want to know what she said.
Yeah, I don't mind people breathing unless they breathe loud. Or
chewing,
they've got a blocked nose and then it
Susie,
we know how Rhonda feels about slurping smoothies.
Yeah, but you want that one?
Yeah. All right, what's Lucy B irritated about today?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so she's actually hit on a really good phrase that irritates the shit out of me as well. It is what it is.
I have to say, I'm guilty of this one, but do you know what I say instead? Because I find it funny.
Hey, Sarah.
No, I say it's what it's. That's funnier. Can we admit that's funnier?
Yeah,
what the fuck
that is
what it actually mean? Someone said that to me, but what do you mean?
Yeah, of course it is what it is, but I don't like what it is. That's why I'm annoyed.
What do you mean, though? I've never used this phrase, so in what context would you use it? I've heard it, but I still don't know what people mean.
I don't know, but can I please promote the phrase, it's what it's?
Yeah. And she's also pissed off when people say literally.
Yeah. But can I just add that Lucy B has been saying for years that all it takes is someone breathing to irritate her. Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised she's only given 2 submissions then.
Yeah. She should provide like a book the length of the Odyssey or what irritates her. It'd be shorter to say what doesn't irritate her about people. But yeah, literally that's gonna I'm sure we'll see that one again, huh?
We haven't mentioned Isla of Criminally Good Books, York. But one time when I was up there, I think it was her opening week, and she, bless her, was on BBC York or BBC Yorkshire.
Something like that.
Something up north, yes. And she said that the books were literally flying off the shelf, and her husband did point that out to her, that the books were not literally flying off the shelf.
You know what? I would take a special trip over to York just to see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, flying books.
Yeah.
but also do go, because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's such a lovely bookshop, and it's like literally our happy place. And I'm using literally correctly there.
How far are you from there, Susie? Because I just assume everything up north is 5 minutes from each other.
No. It's well, I'm in Liverpool, she's in York, so you're probably talking thicker end of 3 hours.
Oh shit, that's further away than we are from York. Oh fuck, how'd that happen?
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe that's where we have our little meetup.
Mutually inconvenient location.
Because that's what it's going to be, yeah.
Well, I was talking to the lovely Nancy at CrimeCon. And she did say that the next CrimeCon in the north might actually be Manchester next year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if that's the case, then it might
Manchester and York are very close.
So is Liverpool and York. I actually work in Manchester.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, if it is, then not only would it be me and my mum going, my sister might actually make an appearance as well. The three of us.
Susie sister.
Oh my God.
And let me remind our sexy listeners that we have sexy listener merch, but also Susie Sisters merch.
Oh my God. The day your sister saw that, she must have been like, what the fuck is it this? How did that even happen?
Did she see that before she knew why that was a thing? Or
so what happened was, because you guys tagged me in to say that there was merch and everything else, and there was merch from one of my stories. So I took a screenshot, sent it to my sister, and just put, have a guess how this happened. And she and she came back going, what? When? What?
Did she remember saying it?
She does remember saying it.
Okay.
It was mainly because, you know, there's not very many occasions where I've been sat on a toilet peeing while vomiting. I actually left this house vomiting chorizo into the world's smallest sink and being absolutely that drunk that I couldn't do anything about it, and I was just sat there laughing.
Oh my God.
Susie sister.
That must have been surreal to see something you once said off the cuff on merch.
On merch of a podcast I'm sure she'd never fucking heard of.
And she can have it as a tapestry even.
She can have it as a blanket, as a cushion, a clock.
She now has a bag and a notebook.
How did she even explain that story to people if they ask her what that's about? Where do you begin?
She doesn't. She just, if anybody asks, she just say, yeah, I'm Susie's sister.
I know, because I did think when I was making it, should I ask what her name is? And I thought, no, it's funnier just as Susie sister.
Some things are just too weird to explain, aren't they? That you can never explain it in a way that makes sense.
Well, my sister also now listens to you guys.
Oh, hi.
Hello, sister.
Her name's Helen.
I know, Helen, but she will always be Susie's sister.
My sister-in-law Karen also listens.
I know Karens. We're taking Karen back because we have so many awesome Karens.
We need to have a whole Susie's Family merch range. This is developing into quite a thing.
I know. This is amazing. Oh my God. So who else have we got? What are the phrases?
Well, you've got me next.
Right, tell us.
I hate the phrase calm down. And there's two reasons for this. The first one is never in the history of the phrase calm down has anybody calmed down after being told to calm down.
Yeah.
The opposite, if anything, every time.
Exactly. But there used to be a program called Harry Enfield and Sons.
Yes.
Calm down. Ah, because you're from Liverpool. I got it now. Yeah.
So no matter where I go in the UK,
people do what I just did.
Hey, calm down. You telling me to calm down?
I mean, I'm surprised you're not in a shell suit. Sorry. No, you're right. It is annoying.
Oh, God.
I've always wanted curly hair and I don't have it. I do have some incredible photographs of my uncle who passed away a few years ago with black curly hair and a moustache wearing a shell suit. In the
ironically, or
no,
that was actually his outfit.
That's what we looked like in the 80s too.
That's what we were wearing in the 80s, minus the mustache, but only because we were old enough to grow one as a female Arab.
Oh God, calm down. Oh my God, like there are better ways to calm somebody down. Give him a cigarette, give him a drink. You know, I used to have this client who used to have like freakouts all the time. I'd be like, look, just go meditate for 10 minutes, have a cigarette, take a breather. Don't tell somebody to calm down. Give them like the tools to calm
Stroke
down.
their hair. Rub their
Well,
back.
it just depends how well you know that person. Because if somebody
obviously.
started stroking my hair, I find it a bit creepy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I would become hostile if somebody touched me.
I was thinking partners, because most of the people that have ever told me to calm down in my life have been partners, and there's so many better approaches,
Yeah.
you know, to actually
like,
calming me down.
Take a break. Do you know what I mean? That's better. Like if somebody's freaking out, just tell them go take a break. Don't tell them to calm down.
Yeah. I one phrase that I use quite a lot is, especially in work, you know, somebody's getting a bit agitated and a bit frustrated, and they're kind of getting into the, you need to tell them to calm down. I just turn around to them and say, do you want to go and walk that off?
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. Yeah. Or like,
yes, give them an opportunity. Yeah,
make them laugh. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to say something ridiculous to break that horrible tense atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I agree with calm down. I fully endorse that as an annoying phrase. Yeah.
Also, if somebody me.
Yeah. Has anyone done that to you in your adult life?
Yes.
Yes.
Fuck.
What was your situation, Susie?
I can't remember the situation, to be honest with you, but I know my partner's son tried it once, and we didn't see him for probably about 6 weeks afterwards because of the barrage that I gave him afterwards.
Has it ever happened at work?
So I had it at work.
No, in a day.
I was executive director of a charity and the chairman of the board in a board meeting with all the other trustees shushed me, and I was like, no, like literally went
fucking taken my shoe off and thrown it at him.
Well, I quit. So I left. But
and it's always the fucking man that does it, huh?
And I just thought, no, there's nicer ways to do that.
Yeah.
You know, don't shush me like I'm a fucking child when you hired me because of my expertise in this field. Just because I'm saying something you don't particularly like. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely not. No,
I would have shushed them every 5 minutes until the day I would finish that job.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that one. That one is endorsed by me also as an annoyance. Yes.
Yeah, and then we have one of the lovely Karens.
Oh, is it
Karen S?
Karen S. Yeah. Coventry Karen.
Coventry Karen. When people say specifically instead of specifically.
Oh yeah, I did reply to that one. Yeah, I replied. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, because I was feeling.
Well, as in the Pacific Ocean, as in relating to the Pacific Ocean. Is that what you mean? No, it's not what you fucking mean. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. This one reminds me of the generally versus generally. I tell you what, I've only ever heard that when I've been shamefully watching shows like The Only Way is Essex and stuff like that. I've only ever heard it there. Maybe that's why it annoys me, because they annoy me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, it's stupid.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Coventry Karen, we agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Isla. When people say I love you to the moon and back.
Anything cringy. I can't. Yeah.
And when it gets posted on social media, when you share a picture, we talked about this, didn't we?
Oh no, that when people say post a picture of their partner or their kids and they write my world, I just fucking can't. My world. I just know we will never be friends. We could never.
Can I also say, as someone who's done online dating occasionally, when obviously, well, I mainly go for men, and looking at their profiles when they fucking post pictures on like Tinder and other social media platforms of them with their kids. Don't put your fucking kids on the dating site just to show how you're like, oh, I'm an amazing dad. Don't put your fucking kids on there. And then when they write stuff like, my kids are my world and any woman needs to understand this, or I love my kids to the moon and back. It's like, yeah, I should fucking hope so. Yeah. And I don't look at very many women's profiles on there, but I don't imagine that they feel the need to share the pictures of their kids with that, you know, on their dating profile, and B, that they feel the need to say that my kids are the most important thing. Because like, yeah, it
They should be.
it should go without saying. But
Yeah.
like the way some men, not all men, feel the need to be like, aren't I a good dad? My kids mean a lot to me. It's like,
how
yeah,
they
no
expect a
shit.
pat
No
on the
shit,
back
sure.
for like even doing
Well,
mediocre shit as a parent.
do you know what I mean? Yeah. At the same time, while posting on posting their images on, yeah, it just cringes me out.
And
So,
they're probably sending dick pics in the DMs.
do you know what I mean?
At the same time.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes, they are. I can confirm.
Yeah.
So,
wholesome.
Brewery What Marcus said,
Oh,
touch wood.
yeah. What? Sorry, I talked over you. What did she say?
Touch wood.
Oh, okay, interesting. That one doesn't bother me, but I do say it.
Yeah.
I do say it. Does that irritate either of you?
Not really.
No,
I
that's
think
not
it's
really
not
on my
like
hear
radar.
it enough.
thing.
Oh, you see,
No,
I do say it. Like,
do you actually go reach for wood when you say it?
I just want to touch wood.
You know what? I'm trying to think back because one of the episodes of We Knew the Moon with Michelle Alderson from Heartfelt Illustrations, she's awesome. Go check her out. I think it was on superstitions, and I remember her talking about touchwood and the origins of it.
okay.
And clearly, it's like something
the
pagan.
wood. I don't like reach for.
I mean, every time I hear wood, I think of penises
Yeah,
because I'm 12. So
yeah, no, I don't.
But people might frown on that if you do that in work.
Yeah. If you go for the closest penis, yeah. I'm just trying to help you calm down.
So Linda said that one. Okay.
Linda. All right, interesting. Linda.
I bet somebody said it that she didn't like.
Yeah.
Says it. Yeah.
I'll ask her next time I go in for a drink.
Somebody called One Piece J.
One Piece DJ?
Yes.
Yes, Andy. She's awesome.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she also said, I hate it when people say it is what it is, and not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie. It's like, yeah, no one thought you were gonna lie. It goes without saying you're telling the truth. Like,
it's like
we just live in a
not
world where
funny,
we assume everyone's telling
do you know
the
what
truth.
it is? It's like those fucking pointless filler phrases people use, like at the end of the day, and it is what it is. It's fucking meaningless. All the things, it seems to be like the things that are irritating us and our listeners are the fucking meaningless phrases, like it is what it is, or what were the other ones? The meaningless shit. What was that one you just said?
We're lucky because...
Or the ones that are cringy. The cringy or fucking meaningless.
Yeah, but we are lucky because I edit out most of our filler phrases before our audience hears.
Oh, what do we say?
I say, I mean, but...
Oh, you say, can I just say? And I say,
can I just say? It's like, yeah, of course, it's my fucking podcast. Of course I could just say.
And
I don't need to say
do you know what? And that's a fucking pointless thing to say because I'm going to fucking say it. Yeah. I know.
And
that irritates me. You don't take enough of those out.
And you say, you know, I mean, just imagine how many you hear. We say infinitely more of them.
Oh shit, that's interesting because I've realized I barely ever listen to our podcast back because we recorded it, so to listen to it is just conceited. You know, why?
It's cringy.
You have to because you have to edit it. I don't have to. I only listen when we've got a guest on because then I want to like listen again to what they said and I want to listen to it like a listener. But I've realized I do say I say like, do you know what, or you know, and fuck, if I say it, it already irritates me, the edited version. So fucking hell.
I mean, we are incredibly annoying. I'm surprised we've even got Susie as a listener,
but
let alone anyone else.
Don't you find annoying people don't really annoy each other? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we're all just annoying together. We must all be the same kind of annoying.
Well, you know how like people always tell me I talk a lot. Well, my friends, they're like, no, you don't. But then they talk a lot and they interrupt a lot. So it doesn't annoy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, see, I know that you talk a lot, but that doesn't bother me. That's not an irritating characteristic for me. Someone who talks a lot. It's more what they say rather than how much they say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
those are some good submissions.
So we've still got more.
Oh, fucking hell.
Right, let's go. This is a good one, yeah.
Yeah, so was it Scion Girl?
Great.
Scottish girl? I don't know. Somebody said, with that being said.
Another filler, pointless filler.
Yeah.
Pointless filler.
heartfelt illustrations.
Oh, yeah.
Just mentioned her.
Let's put a pin in that.
What does it mean? What does that
It
mean?
means
Let's be done.
let's come back to it later. But it basically
Yeah.
means I don't want to deal with this shit now.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it means? Because I would think that's like let's put a pin in that like a balloon when you pop it and it's done.
No, that's wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong.
So wait, it means let's come back to that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So Joe York Joe,
Mm-hmm.
when people add on, to be fair, to the start of what, to the start or end of anything they're saying, which is annoying.
Oh, I
Yes,
think I
because
do
again,
say it though. I say that. Oh shit, I say that.
no, I know, but let's just assume we say most of the things that annoy the shit
Yeah,
out of us.
okay,
But
so
it
what
is
we've
again
learned.
pointless filler. Like,
We've learned.
Yeah.
let's just live in a world where we assume that we're all being honest and we're all being fair, unless
Yeah.
we say otherwise.
So Helen Curl also
Helen
said,
Burrow, she's actually in my house right now.
"Oh,
She's in her
I left
in
her
her
to record
office at the
this.
end of the garden.
Yeah,
well, she's another lady who hates it is what it is," and
it's
she
what
said,
it's.
"Yeah, because no, it bloody isn't."
Do you know what? You're so relaxed considering there's people in your house unsupervised.
The two people in my house at the moment are my friends Emma and Helen, and they are some of my dearest friends in the whole world. So much so, I'm going to try to show you guys
Yeah.
that we have our drinks order tattooed on our. So me and Helen always drink Kraken and Coke, and Emma
Yeah.
is Prosecco.
Nice.
We have a really, really clever nickname for Emma when she drinks too much Prosecco. Her nickname is Prosecco Emma.
Poetry.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, we've normally had quite a lot of rum and cokes, so the fact that we can say words. But yeah, so I popped out to come and record and left them. Actually, Helen loves doing DIY, so she's building this table and 4 bar stools that I've had for fucking ages.
Oh, that's
So
good.
amazing. And Emma's about to come on her period, so she's eating all my chocolate. But basically, they're occupied until I'm done.
So can I add you into a really, really, really sad little secret?
Anytime,
I'm allergic to alcohol.
Oh.
But
What
not chocolate
happens?
though. Not
What
chocolate.
Oh God, no. No, no, no.
Okay.
Life wouldn't be worth living.
Are you allergic to like any kind of alcohol?
There's something in some alcohols which I react badly to.
Oh.
So I'm talking, I start sweating,
Puking in sinks.
Puking in sinks, yeah. Like lose my voice, nose starts running.
Oh shit.
Not worth it.
Fuck.
Can I just ask?
It just depends where, because I mean, I have just come back from Ibiza with the girls. And yeah, I was pretty annihilated in Ibiza. I just popped through, took antihistamines, and
Oh God, that sounds awful.
You're so brave. You're so brave.
Oh, that sounds terrible. That
Can
really
you drink caffeine?
oh God, yeah.
Okay.
God, I don't drink just because I don't want the hangover, but to have all those symptoms as well as a hangover,
Yeah,
sounds
So
awful.
brave. So
yeah.
brave.
Oh.
Yeah, there's got to be a good reason for me to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Shit.
that's a good reason. Yeah.
Mm.
Have we got more submissions?
Just one more.
Oh.
One more. So Linda
From Market Brewery Market. What is it called?
Linda
Brewery.
Rebage.
Oh, new person.
Oh.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
so. Why did I not think of this one myself? It's just one word. Whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, popularized by Clueless, huh? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Annoying then, annoying now.
Even like
Definitely.
just another pointless phrase, huh?
Yeah. Agreed.
Or a shit comeback. That's what it is. It's a shit comeback.
Shit comeback.
Yeah.
I don't like those either. Yeah, shit comeback. It's like when you tell somebody something about themselves And they're like, well, yeah, but, and it's like, no, whatever you're going to say is going to be dumb. If you start with that, well, you know, no.
Yeah, but, no, but, yeah, but, no, but. All right, Phoebe
Yeah.
Pollard,
Yeah. Shit
calm
comebacks.
down.
That would be a good people's spouse topic, huh?
You know what's a good
Yeah.
comeback? Calm
What?
down.
I'll tell you, you know what? I had one of my besties, Karen, came over on Friday, and she's telling me the story, which she's actually in counseling training, so it's probably confidential. So I won't say names, but there was actually a standoff in her in her like training, like in her lesson. And one of the women, who sounds like fucking mental, was telling her, "Oh, well, I never liked you. I never liked you." She's like, "Oh, but I liked you." And this was like in front of like the whole class of people. And I thought, you know what? Genius reaction, because you just
Yeah.
made the other person look like an even
A
bigger
dick.
cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Love
Oh,
it.
well, I've always liked you.
Nice work,
Just
Karen.
calmly done. And I thought that's like a mic drop comeback, you know,
Yeah.
where like you've literally given them the rope to hang themselves even more with.
Nice work, Karen. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Applaud. Yeah.
Just calmly said with a shrug of the shoulder. Yeah, I love that one. That made me laugh.
Can I just say that we're going to have to find something new to do now, because People's Pulse has totally peaked.
Yeah.
It really has. It has.
This
So
honestly, Susie, this is like, I feel like when we had like Steve Keogh, Colin Sutton.
we saw Colin Sutton today, and this is my highlight of
wow.
the day.
Yeah, he came and performed in Chiswick, in the town I lived in, at a tiny
Yeah.
little theater above a pub. Like the theater was the size of a living room.
Yeah. And we
And
went to go see him, and this is the highlight
yeah.
Oh
of our
wow.
day. So, and you know how we feel about Colin.
Yes. Wow.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't think I could even come close to Colin or Stephen. How fabulous is Stephen?
Oh.
I can't. Oh my God.
Have you been watching Secrets of the Murder Detective?
No, I've got it on record. So a partner doesn't really like murder stuff. I don't know why we're together at times. But whenever he's out at like the gym or something like that, I'll stick it on.
Oh, well, you're in for a fucking treat.
And do you know
Yeah.
what I love about Steve is that he's so down, like he said himself, he's so down to earth and approachable. Dee saw him last week too, huh? Thursday was
So
it?
I went last week to, we haven't really talked about this, but I
Oh,
went
he
to the
was looking
podcast show.
hunky. Dee sent me
Oh, I
pictures.
saw that on Instagram that
Yes.
he was there, and I saw you were there, and I thought, oh, I know what's going to happen.
Yes. I'll tell you what happened. I saw Nancy there and the Crime Con crew and a whole bunch of other
wow.
people.
We
Dawn from
haven't even
Scottish Murders.
We haven't even
No, I know.
debriefed about this. Oh.
But saw Stephen Keogh, which was actually the first time we
Did you
met
get a
him
hug? Did
in
you get a hug?
person. I got a big hug.
Oh.
And bless him, he's one of us, because he had been there, no joke, less than an hour and a half. And he said to me, I'm kind of peopled out. Can we go to the pub? And I was like,
I'm so fucking jealous.
I've had a whole
I'm so
day
fucking
extra
jealous.
of this,
Oh.
because there's 10,000 people that went to the podcast show. It was intense. It was massive. And most of us podcasters, we like to sit here in our PJs and record.
Yeah.
Like, we like talking to people, but very small number of people, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's a lot for us. And a lot of us felt very overwhelmed. So yes, I did want to go to the pub with Stephen Keogh and just talk to him.
What was it like to hug Stephen Keogh?
Oh, it was.
Did he smell nice?
He smelled gorgeous.
Oh, I'm so sorry because his daughter listens.
It was like we wrapped in a cloud.
Hi.
And it was just, it was lovely. It was really nice meeting him, genuinely. And yeah, so all of the love to all of the Keoghs. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I met him at Crime Con Glasgow.
Oh.
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Amazing, man. Anyways, all right, we should probably wrap this up so Susie can go and have a life.
Susie, honestly, you do not disappoint.
Susie, I literally feel like it was Christmas, birthday, a million different things all wrapped into
And
one.
you're just like what we'd imagined.
No, she's not. She's fucking better. She's even better.
No, but I mean, like, I feel like we know you well already.
Yeah.
Before speaking you.
She probably feels like she knows us very well, seeing as I don't think there's anything we haven't talked about.
Nope, nothing at all.
Yeah, open books.
Susie, we fucking love you.
Love you.
Love you too as
Susie,
well.
do you want to say goodbye and goodnight to our sexy listeners?
No, you do that, Dee.
No, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Say goodnight, sexy listeners.
Good night, sexy listeners. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey there. Thanks for being a loyal listener.
Do you need a new website or want to boost your social media performance? Or do you hate podcast editing? You've tried optimizing your website and social media channels, but you're still not getting the listeners, downloads, and engagement you want?
We, the Syphilis sisters, love helping people with tasks that they hate. We know a thing or two about podcasts, websites, and social media, and we love working with other podcasters and business owners.
So why not head over to switchbladesisterssocialclub.com and go to our Work With Us section. We believe in collaboration over competition. A rising tide raises all ships.
Bye!